And then on the president's comments about conditional aid to Israel, I wanted to follow up because he suggested that if conditions had been in place, the progress that we have seen so far might not have happened. So of all the proposed conditions, can you explain how they would hinder efforts, whether it's, reducing the level of civilian casualties or making sure U.S. weapons are used within humanitarian law? How would any of the proposed conditions slow down or prevent the progress that has been made?
Well, rather than speak to these proposed conditions, let me just take a step back and, again, reorient the discussion here. Israel was attacked on the 7th of October in the most heinous way. The president's been clear we're going to continue to support their ability to eliminate that threat, the continued threat that Hamas still poses. At the same time, as we have done that since the early hours, we've been urging our Israeli counterparts to act with as much precision and care and deliberateness as they can in their targeting. Now, again, I'm not discounting the fact that many thousands of innocent people have been killed, many thousands more injured, and hundreds of thousands displaced internally in the country, in Gaza, Gaza. We continue to, again, urge our Israeli counterparts to factor all that in as they plan and execute military operations. And as a result of, and this is what the president was talking about, as a result of our engagement with our Israeli counterparts, we have seen results. I mean, now a week-long pause. At the beginning of this, the idea of a pause was unthinkable to our Israeli counterparts. But now a week-long pause, 100 hostages out, hundreds of trucks of aid getting in. At the outset, the idea of humanitarian assistance getting in was not something that was warmly received as an idea. So the president believes that the approach that we've been taking has had results. Now, again, nobody's discounting or dismissing the loss of innocent life, and we continue to work with and share perspectives about urban warfare with our Israeli counterparts so that they can continue to hone their operations in such a way that there's a reduction and a minimizing of civilian death. But we're going to continue that approach.
And John, I hear you, and I know that that's what the president has said repeatedly. In fact, he has supported all of these conditions. These are things that he says he believes in. So I'm asking, talk is one thing, but should there be actions that draw a line to say, hey, if you don't do what we're asking, there will be consequences?
We believe that the approach that we're taking thus far has produced effective results. Again, without discounting civilian deaths, and I don't mean to dismiss that at all. Each one's a tragedy, and we mourn them all. But the approach that we're taking thus far is having results, and it has actually had a practical effect on the way our Israeli counterparts have prosecuted these operations. I mean, just look at, for instance, the ground incursion into Gaza. I mean, without getting into too much detail, I tell you, we shared with them our own experience in that kind of urban warfare in places like Fallujah and in places like Mosul. And we sent over military advisors and experts to talk to them about some of those lessons learned. And I can tell you they were receptive to those lessons learned. And it did affect, again, I don't think I'm giving anything away for the Israeli military, but it did affect the way they ultimately chose to go into Gaza. So I would just say we're going to keep at that.